A very simple Medicare oversight could cost you a lot of money, either temporarily or possibly even permanently. Now, I certainly don't want to speak for anyone, but I would imagine most people out there certainly don't want to spend even another penny on Medicare above and beyond what they already are, because Medicare is very expensive for a lot of people, and a lot of people just don't want to bother with even more expenditures when it comes down to Medicare. But again, like I said, some very simple oversights could cost people a whole bunch more money, and we definitely do not want that to any degree whatsoever, which is exactly why I'm making this video, as I want to point out some of the traps that are out there, as there's a lot of hidden traps, and I don't want anybody falling into these. We're going to talk about it in this video. Now, I also do have this article right here. I'm going to pop this up in just a second so you can see and read for yourself exactly what they're talking about. This points out some of them. I'll explain in greater detail, and I'll also pull out some of the key points within that article that I do want to bring to your attention. All right, so first off, let's pop this up right here right now. Feel free to read through the details on this. Let me point out some of the key traps that are out there we want to avoid in a massive way. Automatic enrollment into Medicare, right? Yes and no at the same time. Let me explain. If you're already on Social Security, as in you're receiving Social Security benefits and you're turning 65 at some point in the coming months here, then yes, you would be automatically enrolled into Medicare, which would be effective as of the first day of the month in which you turn 65. So if you're already receiving Social Security benefits, then yes, you would be automatically enrolled into Medicare. However, if you're not receiving Social Security benefits and you're turning 65 soon, then no, you will not be automatically enrolled into Medicare. So that's what can be very confusing about this, because it really depends. If you're already receiving Social Security, yes. If you're not, then no, you will not, and you will need to enroll in Medicare on your own, or as you noticed on the screen, I typically have a phone number right there. You can get free Medicare help with that by calling Chapter Medicare. The phone number will be back in just a minute. It'll be right there for you. You can call them and they will help you with your initial enrollment and make sure that you are properly covered with the proper plans as well. More on that a little bit later. All right, so that's number one. Number two that I want to point out is foregoing Medicare Part D coverage. Now, this may be a good solution for some people, but realistically, based on the studies, they've actually found that foregoing Medicare Part D and enrolling at some point in the future and paying the lifelong Medicare Part D penalty, which can rack up quite a bit over time if you delay 1 year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, something like that, it's actually cheaper from what they found to actually pay that premium up front, have Medicare Part D coverage, even if you're not utilizing it, versus paying that lifelong Medicare Part D penalty for the rest of your life at some point in the future when you decide to actually enroll in it, okay? That's actually kind of interesting, and it seems like, why would I pay for something that I'm not actually utilizing? It's because of the lifelong Medicare Part D penalty that's going to be applied to you at some point in the future if you decide to delay for a few years. That's going to rack up, and you're actually going to be paying more versus actually just taking that coverage up front, okay? Now, here's the deal as well. That would just be applicable to original Medicare enrollees. Now, if you're on Medicare and you decide to go with the Medicare Advantage route, a lot of times Medicare Advantage plans have prescription coverages built within them, okay? So in that case, you'd be fine. For the most part. Again, this is general information here. I don't know your exact situation, but that's the situation there. We're just talking about a specific Medicare Part D or standalone plan that would be there for those original Medicare enrollees, okay? That's number two. Now, number three is basically just anticipating that your doctor, your network, your office, your clinic, your hospital system is covered. I would not make that assumption, okay? There's a lot of people that unfortunately make that assumption or don't do the due diligence and don't make sure that their doctor, their office, their clinic, their hospital system, their specific needs are covered. All of a sudden signing up for a plan and realizing, wait, what happened here? My plan isn't covered. My doctor's office isn't covered. My doctor specifically isn't covered. What's going on here? I can't see my doctor anymore. This is a major factor. In fact, so far this year, 2026, I've seen this comment down below way too many times. I've seen this down below a lot. It's so far this year where I've seen a number of comments reaching out. People have said, I can't see my doctor anymore. What happened? My plan doesn't cover my doctor, my office visits, my hospital system that I want to go to. These plans change all the time, right? What they cover, who's included, who's in network, who's not in network, all kinds of details. You got to do that due diligence every single year. And again, if you call Chapter there, they can certainly help you out with that. They have access to over 20,000 plans. It's 100% for free. They can look through that. They have access to all of this information at their fingertips. Let them do the grunt work for you. Seriously, you can certainly do it on your own, but otherwise, grab your phone, call Chapter there, see what they can do. They have access to all this. Talk to them and let them do all of the dirty work, the grunt work that you don't want to do to ensure that your doctor, your office, your clinic, your network system, your hospital system, whatever it happens to be, your prescriptions are covered with your plan. Let them do all that for you. And again, they'll do it totally for free, as you can see right there, which is honestly really, really cool, right? All right, that's number 3. Number 4 is anticipating that just looking at the premium that, oh, my plan's good, it hasn't changed. No, I talked about this a lot at the end of 2025. I was out in videos all the time and said, hey, please, as we're, this was last year in 2025 during annual enrollment, basically the middle of October through early December, I was back in multiple videos and said, please do not make the mistake of just looking at your premium and say, oh, the premium didn't change or it only went up by $3. It must be the same. No, you've got to look into the details of every single plan, okay? All of these plans change so much. You need to look into the internals of the plan. What's the premium? What's the copay? What's the coinsurance? What's the deductible? What's the max out of pocket? Just like I said in point number 3, are your doctors, your offices, your hospital systems, your prescriptions covered? Are your medical procedures or whatever you need specifically to you, is all of that covered, right? Who's in network? Who's not in network? This is massive because here's the deal. I said this at the end of 2025. I'm going to say it again really quickly. A lot of times what they do is they leave the premium the same or only change it by a couple dollars, making it look like, oh, look, my plan hasn't changed. Or if it did, it only changed a couple dollars. No big deal. I'll just keep the same plan. What you've got to do is look into the details of the plan to see exactly what has changed. And a lot of times, a lot of these things change every single year, catching a ton of beneficiaries off guard. Now, here's the deal. In September of last year as well, leading up to that, I talked about the ANOC, Annual Notice of Change. Anybody on Medicare Advantage plans or Part D plans received your annual notice of change. Now, that was a long time ago, but that is also a document that comes out every single year, generally in by the end of September every single year. Obviously, September's a long time from now, but you get my point. You'll get that annual notice of change, and it'll point out all the changes within that. It's a lot of pages generally that outlines all the different changes within your respective plan. Or you can contact Chapter there and let them see what all the different options are and what other plan availability there are and things like that when it comes down to your specific plan and your needs, okay? Anyway, contact Chapter there, see what they can do for you. And again, I know that I talk about them a lot, but here's the details. Thousands and thousands of you in this community have called them so far, getting that necessary help, getting plan help, getting the right plan and coverages for you and your personal needs, getting help with your initial enrollment into Medicare, making sure that you can still see your doctor, your providers, have your prescriptions covered, go to the offices, the clinics, the hospital systems, whatever it happens to be. They've helped thousands of you in this community. It's absolutely incredible. And the collective savings between those of you in this community is well over $2 million just in the last 1 year alone, which is honestly really, really cool as well. And again, they can help you. Again, let them do the grunt work. That's what I said earlier. Let them do the dirty work. Let them do the time-consuming work. Let them do the grunt work. All the things that you don't want to do, they do it with a smile on their face. I don't know. That seems kind of weird to me, right? But they literally do it with a smile on their face. They're happy to do it. I'm like, fine. If you want to do all this stuff that nobody else wants to do, by all means, go at it. You know what I mean? So let them go for it and do it for you. Nobody wants to do this, but they love doing this. Like, that's their jam. let them do it, okay? Let them do it for you. Let them help you, and it'll be incredible. All right, anyway, these are just some of them. Now, I did not hit on all of them that were encompassed within the article, but I did want to point out some of the key ones that are impacting a lot of people out there, especially those of you in this community, and some of the tripwires out there, some of the snags, some of the traps that are set for beneficiaries. I don't want you to fall for any of this, and I want to help you out in any way that I possibly can. Avoid any extra expenditures out of Medicare. And especially during your retirement or when you're living on a Social Security benefit, you certainly do not want any additional expenditures, any additional bills coming in, and that's something we can certainly avoid by just examining what I talked about here in this video. Anyway, I hope this helps you out. Again, if you're on Medicare, if you need to enroll in Medicare, if you need help, if you have questions on Medicare, anything like that, please contact Chapter there. Phone number's there for you, 100% for free. Otherwise, please, if you're new, subscribe. Please share the video. Subscribe and share, both buttons right down below. Otherwise, drop your comments, your questions, your feedback down below. Let me know what else I can do for you. Have a nice day. Take care. Thanks again for watching this, and I'll catch you again later in the next video. See you.